Butt finger face.
You itch your butt. You wipe your eye. Butt finger face.
Butt finger face.
Logging into Not Gospel Studios in 3, 2. What's up, guys? We just watched King of Kings, and we're going to talk about it right now. Joel, first off, King of Kings, what do you think on the scale of Last Jedi to Lord of the Rings? King of Kings, go.
6 out of 10, and that's good.
6 out of 10, and that's good, right?
That's
because
good.
you, dude, are pretty critical of Christian movies and stuff like that.
Well,
sometimes.
not even Christian movies. I've been doing the video thing for so long. I can't even enjoy movies. So
yeah.
My perspective is not fresh.
Dude, you are a heavier critic than me, but when you do it as much as you do, obviously that's one of the reasons.
I think it was really good. I mean, and I'm not trying to be like a positive Peter here, but like
positive Peter.
It's just yeah.
I'm gonna say that's pretty close to me. Yeah. I'd say about a 6 out of 10, maybe a 7 because of the content, because what it's talking about to me personally.
Yeah.
Would I recommend that Christians see it? Yeah, I think I'd recommend you seeing it. My favorite part was probably the accuracy. You know, they stayed pretty true to the Bible.
Yeah.
Like they basically took the scripture that was already there and kind of laid it out in animated form. I will say this is after The Chosen made it okay to do that, right? Like The Chosen kind of paved the way in a big way, man. Everybody loves Chosen. So now you've got The Chosen setting the stage for Christian content to be biblically accurate and be okay and accepted. Then you've got like this new wave of conservatism. You got this new wave of conservatives
yes,
that are like making it okay to be conservative. So it doesn't surprise me that it was so biblically accurate.
Yeah, I think it's like the one struggle that any Christian thing is going to have. We have this struggle on our TV show. We're filming a reality TV series based on my worship ministry. And the thing that is very, very hard for any Christian entertainment is how in the world do we make this entertaining?
Yeah.
And that's very hard to do. And Dallas said this from The Chosen. He said the story of Jesus is very hard to do because Jesus essentially has no character growth development because he's perfect. And so I think what they tried to do was make the kid grow, which was there's things I would have done different, but like I didn't walk away from that being like, oh, this is terrible. I was like, 6 out of 10. That's pretty
King
dang
of
good.
Kings, like I think it's good for kids. I think that it packages this Jesus story. There's no graphic violence per se. There's nothing that you can be afraid to show your kids, and I think that's its goal was to be a way to tell that story. It's basically it's the passion for kids, right? Like that's what they wanted to do. You're not going to show your kids the passion of the Christ.
Well, and then
and
the kid ends up basically accepting Jesus, so it's almost like, hey, let's give brand new kids who don't know the story of Jesus the highlights of Jesus through this kid's eyes. Then the kid's gonna accept Jesus. That was probably the elevator pitch. I
could see Christians like your classic Christian home, basically being like, parents are gonna sneak off in a room and watch the Passion and like really cry and weep, and we're gonna put King of Kings on for our kids, or watch it together as a family. You're just not going to show the Passion to your really young kids. That's too graphic, man. I appreciate the Passion. I really like the Passion for its accuracy again, but I'm not going to show it to my kids.
Right.
Now, what was your least favorite thing about King of Kings?
Comedy.
The comedy?
0 out of 10.
Okay.
Like no one laughed. Except there was one time with a cat, and this is like the thing of and I think we fixed it with the TV show we're making. Is like Christians have no idea how to be funny without being insanely cynical and sarcastic.
Okay,
like John Chris is awesome. John Chris is that example of like I'm hilarious, but I'm also it comes across sometimes super jaded to the Christian thing, which is fine. But I would say the comedy and like when I watched The Chosen with somebody, it was 3 years ago in theaters. I was just like, why don't they have a sword fight here? And why don't they have a chase scene? And in my brain, I can see that being totally working out within the fiction. And this thing was kind of the same thing of like,
you're like, I can't imagine the Chosen with a sword
Oh,
fight
dude,
and a chase scene.
Oh, I'd totally do it, man. You throw in one of the disciples are running from a Roman guard, and someone has a sword. It's awesome, dude. You could totally do it. And that's
Indiana Jesus Jones.
Yeah, because it was like, even for our TV show, is like, okay, we can't just have 10 conversation scenes in a row. We have to have our comedy scenes.
Okay.
And yeah, so I would definitely say comedy and action.
All right.
But 6 out of 10.
So for me, my least favorite part was Oscar Isaac's Jesus. It was absolutely deadpan. I don't know anything about his theology or his religious views at all.
Yeah.
Nothing about him on that side. So I'm not even going to guess, but I will guess. And I'll say, like, based on his deadpan, expressionless, lifeless performance, I feel like he did it just for the paycheck. It very much felt like a phone-in thing. I got no passion from the most passionate person on the planet, who's Jesus.
Yeah.
And that was a disappointment. Oscar Isaac's voiceover to me was not good.
Well, in The Chosen, that's the one thing they got right, is like a lot of personality in Jesus.
Yeah.
I think The Passion of the Christ, they kind of lacked a little bit of that, but it was still infinitely better than this one, because this was just like, they talked about this, how biblical films before, Jesus was like this angelic being that you couldn't relate to, and they totally did that.
Well, and part of that now is not necessarily Oscar Isaac's totally his fault, because the animation was very stiff. The lips didn't necessarily move as fast as what was speaking, and so there wasn't as much emotion on the characters either. Like, you get a character crying, but there's not like trying to fight back and showing a lot of emotion in the face of the character.
Yeah.
But dude, if there's anything that The Mandalorian showed us, you can have somebody in a helmet the whole time and they can move you with a voiceover. And so I blame a lot of that. And like I said, I like the actor, in terms of his performances. Don't know anything about his like views on religion.
Yeah.
Oscar Isaac, to me, kind of just phoned this in, paycheck, move on. What do you think about this renaissance in Hollywood right now, where this conservative movement in Hollywood?
I'm very scared, because I know in the next 20 years it's going to swing insanely hard the other way.
So I'm very much like, I'm going to appreciate it while it's here.
Yeah.
But there's a part of me that's like, hey, how come it took you this long to get on the ship?
Yeah.
How come it took you, Hollywood, how come it took you this long to say Jesus was okay? Is it because now it's accepted, like the current political party and regime, is saying it's okay when you found out that 52% of the country is going to vote more conservative, all of a sudden it's okay to like Jesus? I'm like, I wish you'd have kept this same energy beforehand, y'all, like, for real. Maybe things would have been different if you'd have kept this same energy about Jesus when it would have cost you something, when it would have cost you a job or something like that.
Yeah, I am so enthusiastic on what's going on culturally with Christianity in the country, but then I'm also terrified for when this swings back, because if we remember, in the early 2000s there was a massive swing. Conservatives, in my opinion, got a little crazy with all, like, we're going to cancel Harry Potter, we're going to do all this stuff. Just that whole, they kind of created a little bit of that cancel culture, and then that gave rein for the liberals to go insane.
Go nuts, man.
Just
crazy.
Yeah, so
just lose it.
I'm gonna dye my hair blue.
If you like this clip from the Not Gospel Studios YouTube channel, don't forget to share. Click on one of the other links and videos. You can find them here and here, and subscribe. I think it's down here. Tell your friends about us. Tell them that it's healthy, that it's vegan, and all of those things. Keep being awesome, because that's how God made you.